This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
From a Beach District school that won and moved to 8-2 to secure the number 2 seed in the playoffs. We've got playoffs. Jim Moore,
this is real now.
Cox taking on Kellam.
out of it. They need the passing. In fact, did they throw it all in that game? My guess would be
They did.
They wouldn't need to throw much at them.
I'll give you the passing numbers.
If that running game was working out well. And Cox is traditionally, even though it's different coaches, has been known to be a very strong running. And everybody says, or this is common what people would say, is defenses win championships. I've been known to say most points wins, whether it's you win by one or whatever. Most points win. So
he likes offense, which sells tickets. Before we take a timeout, would you like to hear him? We'll do a double dose of the second hour of the show. We'll go back to this game because it's going to go to our playoff pairings and matchups. Would you like to hear from the standout running back for Cox High School on senior night who had more yards on his senior night than he did in the previous 9 games combined?
Always want to hear from the kiddos.
Here's Josh Walton of Cox after their big win over Kellam. Right now, it's Hatfield and Young at the PLEX, 757 Saturday Sports Talk style.
In the third quarter, Hatfield.
All right, I'm here with Cox senior running back Josh Walton, 245 yards unofficially on 28 attempts and a couple of touchdown runs. All right, Josh, you didn't have that the whole season coming in tonight. Now, you played defense as well. You got hurt, was it the green run game, I think, or second game of the year? Tell me about this. So you mentioned concussion there. To have this performance on senior night, it's got to be something you'll remember to win this game 49-7 and really go into the playoffs roaring.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to remember this the rest of my life, man. This actually means a lot to me. You know, getting the start, freshman running back Tyree, great guy, great. He's a stud. But he was out this week with an injury, so I was able to start. I knew what I had to do, get the job done. Next man up. That's all it is.
Yeah, your other running back, Tyree Jeffers, got our Chicho's Pizza Player of the Week. You might get it next week the way you had this game performance. Tell me about just to come out there the way you guys just really set a physical tone. Was that the game plan coming in? What would Coach Noe talk about?
Always game plan. That's always the game plan. And this time we executed that to the max we could. First play, stuff them. First drive, stuff them. Everything we got, man. That's our motto on defense, especially as linebackers. Hit something. Hit everything you see.
Sure. Given that you've had 4 comeback wins this year in the fourth quarter against the likes of Lancetown and Bayside and Salem and Kempsville just last week, did you guys expect to have it be as easy as it was, and was it easy?
Also, final score.
We go into every game expecting it to be easy, if I'm being honest with you. We don't go in there underestimating them, but we go in there thinking we're the dominant team because we know we are. This game, I mean, from the jump, we knew it was different. We're going to blow them out, so. I mean, that's all we got here. It worked. It worked out. It worked out in our favor. That's all we can ask for.
So basically, the easy part is just the preparation and practice you guys put in to stress the fundamentals the coaching staff talks about with you guys.
Yeah, the practice is very important. The practice is probably way more important than the game because if you practice harder than you play in the game, you're gonna do this. You're gonna put up 49 points. So practice is just crucial.
Kellam's a rival. They're one of the nearby schools in the beach, so they're great for sure. Yeah, you got First Colonial, them, a whole bunch of different schools, rivals in the beach, if you will. Was there any, I don't know if you say satisfaction, but extra motivation you could knock them out of the playoffs and kind of go into the playoffs with some momentum? Was that a big deal for y'all as well?
Oh, yeah. We wanted to end their playoff dreams. That was a lot of motivation, a lot of, behind-the-scenes stuff that went on. So they gave us all the motivation we needed, and we did what we needed to do with it.
Last two for you, Josh. Your best run of the night, I thought it was the touchdown run where you extended to the pylon there in the second half. Tell me about that run where you just took off. That was the running clock at that point.
Yeah, that was a dream run for me. I've dreamt about that run many times, diving into the end zone, 4 yards out. It was great. It was exhilarating. That's all I can say about it.
You guys secure the number 2 seed. We don't know who you're going to play yet, whether it is Deep Creek or Kempsville, whoever it'll be in the first round. Bottom line is you go in with a lot of momentum. How does it feel to have this type of performance going into the postseason? Do you feel like you guys can carry this on to a deep run?
I think we can. I know we can, matter of fact. This playoffs, we have high hopes. We're going to see where it gets us. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
There you go. That's number 5, Josh Walton. We'll give him a high five. Great win tonight. Congrats.
Yep, appreciate it. Yep. Look at that. We'll see you next Thursday. I like the swagger of the kid. And you know what? It gives them another dimension because you get Jeffries back from illness. You got Treffry, a quarterback. You have to prepare for 3 capable ball carriers. This is a team that we were all saying, they've won 4 games with under 2 minutes to go. They're not so great. They're a paper tiger. No, they have those close wins, I think, have helped mold them and evolve them into a team that can be really, really dangerous in this 5A picture where Green Run's still the favorite, but my gosh, that's a team you got to prepare for. They can make it look silly. They made Kellam, who's not terrible, look silly. They did.
Yeah, it's a great game to have as your last regular season game going in, and you're going into playoffs. I like the kid you use exhilarating. I don't think I've heard a high school kid in an interview use that ever. And he gave you the high five on the walkout. So the kid, and watching his facial expression during the interview, he was hearing your numbers, and he was kind of like, wow, I didn't know I had that. He just out there playing the game, and he said he'd been dreaming of that run, been dreaming of that run, and that's kind of cool to see. Now, I'm wondering, can we have 2 back-to-back Cox Players of the Week?
It's a possibility. There's some good candidates.
Wow, that's going to be interesting to see.
Listen, I saw a couple last night for Atlantic Shores. We'll get to their game from Friday night as they blew by Portsmouth Christian. The quarterback, Micah Lance, son of head coach Wayne Lance, had a sizzling night throwing the ball. Chris Higgins has already gotten a Chicho's Pizza Player of the Week. Can you name all the Chicho's Pizza Player of the Weeks, or it would be too hard for you to accomplish?
I know one quarterback from Nancy River.
Now, Kendrick Overton.
We got the kid from last week, Jeffers.
Texting the show. Dog is barking. He's trying to give you some help. He's trying to help you out.
He knows the answer.
What's the doggy's name?
That's Little Bear keeps up with keeps up with a lot of that. Right. We had a Nancy River, the Cox kid.
Yep.
Atlantic Shores.
Yep. Chris Higgins, a.k.a. Napoleon.
And there's 2 more, right?
No, we did like 8 or 9. There's more than 2. Jesus. Messiah Delome from Warwick. Javon Ford from Kings Fork.
Kings Fork, yes. And who's the Maury kid? We have to have a Maury kid.
We haven't had a Maury kid yet.
Wow.
Nor a Green Run kid. They're going to hate me, but there's still time for the first and second round of the playoffs.
That's because
Caden Davis of Salem.
Well, we don't have those kids because everybody eats spread out. Everybody's all. I don't know if they're eating during a game.
Phoebus hasn't had one yet either.
See,
we only had one Peninsula kid. No Bay Rivers kids yet.
Wow,
we came close to Cam Dixon Tab. Yeah,
all the wealth is spread out.
It's been spread. The Southeast was kind of dominated. Malachi Hinton from Indian River, Travis Johnson from Oscar Smith. It's been the SED winning a lot of them. Honestly,
that's amazing. And by the way, people, I have no say in it. I have no vote, so don't come to me and say, why is all the SED kids?
You want me to put up a poll that people choose? That's what you want, don't you? On our 757 Sports.
No, we don't always have to give it out there to everybody because when you open it up to fans, like Major League Baseball, for the most part, it's a popularity. Who do you like? Baseball, they'll vote a guy that's hitting 200 in the All-Star game because he's on their team or they like him. I like to have the people vote who are in the know, knowledgeable about everybody, and it can kind of take away the popularity out of it.
All right, there you have it. We're going to come back after this first break and go through Friday's results. Give you a chance to hop in here if you like on our 757 Saturday Sports Talk show. We'll put out a link through our 757 Sports Talk Twitter page via StreamYard, as well as on our Facebook page. If you want to join the show and just come on the screen live with us, you can do that. It can be anybody, coach, player, fan. We don't care who you are.
We make you an instant guest.
Instant guest. We're still working on the phone situation, but we talked about the Chicho's Pizza Player of the Week. We're going to hear from Chicho's, Freddy's, and a place that's got fan food, not fast food, where you can grill and chill. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? He doesn't know. He's shaking his head. We got a blizzard there about a month ago, and it was good.
Dairy Queen. Really Dairy Queen is a nice stop off.
It's right here near the Sportsplex. Check them out.
Okay, who here has reached peak fall?
Peak what?
Peak fall.
I am wearing plaid.
And I'm wearing a cardigan.
I guess I am eating snickerdoodle cookie dough.
And I am eating a pumpkin pie blizzard.
The new DQ Fall Blizzard menu has reached peak fall. Pumpkin pie, snickerdoodle cookie dough, and more. They are back.
I just love fall. Apparently we all do.
Oh, they did it. Peak fall achieved. DQ, happy tastes good.
Treat yourself to a visit to the Drip Bar IV Hydration and Vitamin Therapy in Virginia Beach. Boost your immunity, increase your energy, and promote anti-aging with our personalized treatments designed to ensure efficient nutrition absorption to rejuvenate your mind and body. Come see our chic and relaxing day spa for yourself today. We welcome walk-ins and appointments. Our medical professionals will help you achieve your best health and answer all your questions. The Drip Bar at Lansdowne Commons in Virginia Beach.
Welcome back to 757 Sports Talk. No, it's not in the pool. It's Hatfield and Young at the PLEX, the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. Here are two guys that, even though they never shut up, they're always dropping pearls of wisdom, Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we're back here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Hatfield and Young at the PLEX. As always, you can interact with us through Facebook, where we are streaming the show, as well as Twitter or X at 757 Sports Talk. And we have you covered on VirginiaPreps.com. It's right there on the front page of the site. And, of course, on our Virginia Beach Sportsplex YouTube channel. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe when you do that. You'll get notifications when we go live and in living color, whether it be with us on the podcast, the Field Hockey with Hatfield podcast on Tuesday, the On the Hash with Hatfield Football podcast on Thursday, Atlantic Shores Football, you name it. We got you covered here with Hometown Sports Productions and the great team. All right, Ed, it is time to go through Friday's games in the 757 and beyond. Where do you want to start things off? And by the way, let me thank you very nicely for not ribbing me, razzing me, getting on me about my snakes going down in the fall.
There's no need to.
Texas.
I mean, it was no need. It was just a matter of how many games. We all knew Texas was going to win, and you can't count Arizona out because everybody did that in the playoffs and almost cost Chris Russo his job.
Yeah, should have.
And I did make the comment last week, if they win the World Series, I wouldn't have been here today. I wouldn't have been anywhere.
We were
I would
rooting
have
for
retired.
it.
Yeah, I would have moved to the moon.
We were rooting hard for it. It just didn't happen.
It didn't happen. So I'm here. You got to deal with me. And, like I said, you finished second best. The Yankees are still trying to find themselves.
That's right. Don't you forget.
I'm a straight shooter. I call it right down the middle. And I don't, everything I say, usually, it has rhyme and reason to it. So, D-backs next year, they'll still win the AAA championship.
No, that's the Norfolk Tides. Don't take it away from our local minor league team affiliated with the Baltimore Orioles. How dare you?
Tides will beat the D-backs for the AAA title next year. Okay. No beat schools played last night.
Hey, there's our question of the day. Is Ed Young a straight shooter? We're going to let the audience weigh.
Absolutely.
Is he a straight shooter?
I can't wait to see the answers.
And
I can't wait to see who's saying.
A bunch of no's on that comments. All right.
So Beach they all played last.
But is it true, by the way, that you have Bruce Bochy's cell number? Is that true? You can't give it out on the air, but is it true that we're efforting him for the podcast in the near future?
It's going to be hard to get him. Answer yes.
Okay.
And B, it'll be practically impossible. But then again, we have no to begin with, so we'll put it out there. We have our crack staff on there taking care of that right now probably not as we speak. They're probably sleeping.
We had Tim Kirkson, Kurt Dillon. If you missed any previous episodes, it's on our playlist on the SportsPlex page. You can find it. Go back and watch segments, interviews, and shows, as well as those football, hockey, soccer, lacrosse games we bring you all the time. Right,
and while we did effort, Seth Greenberg to talk some college hoops, which is starts Monday. There's going to be.
By the way, you believe maybe this will be a buy or sell question. LSU and the women last night on Sportsnet got a lot of love. You're trying to repeat as champs behind Angel Reese. The women's game might be getting a little, and this is crazy to begin the season, a little more buzz in the men's game because you got Haley Van Lith transferring to go with her. You've got Caitlin Clark at Iowa. UConn's always a big deal at South Carolina. There's a lot of women's storylines, more than the men, which is crazy. Maybe because there's movement in both men and women, but there's so much, a little bit more of a, who's going to win it in the men. You know who the central figures are for the women.
Yeah,
right?
You can pretty much write down the Final Four for women right now.
Can you write it down? Go ahead.
LSU, South Carolina. I'm going to put Iowa back in there.
And UConn.
He just
did it. You already done.
So, I don't think we can do that for men.
No. Grand Canyon. They're my sleeper dark horse, ladies and gents.
You've slept a long time.
Canyon. Oh, really?
If Grand Canyon gets to the Final Four,
I
will finish the statement later. If they get to the Final Four, I'll finish the statement later.
No.
Half the people, okay, there's a lot of people out there right now. He just said Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon.
There's a lot of people saying right now, did they build a college in this big hole in Colorado? Is it Colorado? Where's the Grand Canyon? Colorado, Nevada. There's a big hole out there that he just said is going to go into is going to have, let me clarify what he said, his sleeper. There's a big hole that is his sleeper. So we'll see if that happens.
What's the help number to text? HELP.
Oh, it's 1-800. Can't find it.
Looking for it. Yeah, I don't know. Where are we going to start this off in our high school football Friday reaction?
Let's go Bay Rivers.
Hey, by the way, real quickly, Melvin Gaither wants to know out there, when is basketball game starting for you?
The season.
Thank you, Melvin.
Yeah, Melvin. Basketball season, according to VHSL, first game. You can play your first game. I think it's the Monday of the last week of November.
Practice starts this game, right?
Yeah, it starts this Monday.
November 27th. Does that sound right? That sounds right.
Yeah, and I think our first game is the 29th. So a lot of people right in that area. Definitely that Friday, December 1st. Pretty much everybody else opened up.
And by the way, we've gotten your survey back, and a bunch of coaches around the states will be doing our Virginia Preps basketball top 10 countdown soon.
And the other thing, too, is, yes, football playoffs will overlap because the state football playoffs are not until December 8th, 9th, somewhere around there.
Well, the state semifinals will be December 2nd. The finals are December 9th at UVA for Class 6 and Class 5, Liberty for Class 4 and Class 3, and out in Salem for Class 2 and Class 1. I'll probably be getting a hotel room and staying up in Charlottesville. I don't know if you're going to make that trip because you got basketball. So we might be doing the show remote that weekend. We'll be doing it remote next week, and we'll tell you about later on here in just a bit. But let's fire up the football news. who's won 30 games in a row now. I mean, if that's not as great a defense as Rose, and by the way, Brassfield's combination of 135 yards rushing between Willie Moore and Kamari Wilson. I'm not coming your way here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Hatfield and Young from the Plex. But we'll take a quick time out, then we'll come back with more, though. But right now, we're going to hear from Gatorade as well as DQ and One Life and a couple more sponsors from the Plex.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels.
I used to go missing all the time. I let everyone down. I even let Shannon Sharp down.
Yeah, you let me down. They've been told how you feel yourself doesn't matter. That electrolytes are all the same. Then just like that, they're gone. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Could be the difference between dominating and disappearing. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
Okay, who here has reached peak fall?
Peak what?
Peak fall.
I am wearing plaid.
And I'm wearing a cardigan.
I guess I am eating snickerdoodle cookie dough.
And I am eating a pumpkin pie blizzard.
The new DQ Fall Blizzard menu has reached peak fall. Pumpkin pie, snickerdoodle cookie dough, and more. They are back.
I just love fall.
Apparently we all do.
Oh, they did it. Peak fall achieved. DQ.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
I see to my left, it must be, because I don't know who else it could be here, as it is 757 Saturday Sports Talk from the Plex. As always, you can tune in with us, interact with us, join the show. We put out the live link if you want to join the show. It's up on VA Preps Rivals on Twitter and X, and 757 Sports Talk will make you an instant guest. You can ask a question and join us live. In fact, I think we just got a direct message question. We'll read that coming up. Maybe we'll do that during our buy or sell portion of the show. But as always, we are streaming with the folks from Hometown Sports Productions on our Virginia Beach Sportsplex YouTube channel. We left off with the Eastern District to finish up here with. And there was a game that started before 7 o'clock on Friday night. You know what game that was, Ed? Any idea what game that was? He has no idea.
I have no idea.
He has no idea. But I'm going to tell him.
Why did he start early?
I have no idea. And we look at them, and we talk about offense, all these receivers, LeBron Bond and Devontae Floyd, the Duke commit, and Fred J.R. Johnson, the South Carolina commit, and Javonte Wiggins and Josh Powell. These are all regional, all-state guys, multiple offers in many cases, multiple running backs for Troy Newkirk at QB. But the thing I think that we underestimate a little bit, Ed, with them is just their defense. They get a couple of defensive plays that set up scores on Friday night against their rival in Granby, one of which was by Marquavian Morris. He caused 2 fumbles. Leslie Hines with a 10-yarder. I think the Maury defense and the way they're just making spark plays and the intimidation they can hit you over the middle with Kendall Daniels at safety. You've got Ike Simmons at linebacker off the edge with Ari Watford and Johnson pressuring you. I think their defense is really, really disruptive, and that was an impressive performance from last night. Just to do it again, to get 5 shots to end the year, not lose the focus. I think they're going in as a definite favorite.
Well, now here we go. We're talking points, 60-some a game. I think you said in the month of October it's close to 70 a game, and now all of a sudden 5 straight shutouts. And I have to say, Maury, if I'm not mistaken, you have it in front of you, played some tough teams.
Did early. Highland Springs, Dinwiddie, and Wise.
Yeah, he did schedule tough outside the district. The district is what district play. You got to play your district. You can't say, well, the district was easy. Well, you got to play your district schedule. But I give credit to them about going out and playing some tougher teams. And they played those teams extremely well, beat them. So, I just look at it and I'll hear the 5 shutouts. I just simply say, I don't see anybody beating them. I mean, you got to do it on the field. I understand all that, but I don't. Now, state tournament, I'm going to see him running through the region. And unfortunately for me, if I'm not mistaken, my Warrior football team will play in the second round.
Well, that's assuming you beat Granby.
We have to beat Granby, which Granby might be the most improved team.
They are, and you wonder about the psyche coming off this loss tomorrow. Now, some teams can shake those off.
I don't think it hurt Granby. I really don't. I think they're having a great year, better than most people expect. I think they're going to go into a game where they're going to figure we got a great chance to win, even though they got to go on the road. Sure. So I don't think that game mentally is going to hurt them at all.
You're seeing the playoff projections again. These are unofficial. The VHSL will release this thanks to the numbers guru. She is fantastic. Laura Bickey in her final year. We're going to salute Laura. She's just awesome, and we're going to miss her dearly because she is the very best when it comes to it.
Can't believe she's going to leave.
Oh, I know, she's great. I mean, we're going to miss her dearly, but she'll have it out for everybody on the media side, and we'll put it out on Virginia Preps and through our Twitter page at 757 Sports Talk and all that good stuff. But so unofficially, you're seeing them scroll across the screen as I've been crunching numbers late. Folks, Rob Witham at the RBA Sports Network been crunching them late. We've got Robert Anderson, our longtime writer, which we've run up times for many years, crunching them. We've got some on the front page on Virginia Preps for Roanoke and Southwest Virginia and Lynchburg, those regions as well. But I got 2 things here before we move on from this with the Eastern District of Virginia playoff pairings and taking our time out. John Morris was subbed in for Andrew McClung, the terrific kicker from Maury injury. You say Maury's winning by a gazillion points. What's it matter? Does an injured kicker at all concern you if you're dreaming King of the Commodores, knowing that you could have a close game in the playoffs and you might need that leg if you're playing Warwick's defense or King's Fork or you're playing Stonebridge, if you remember? Could that be any type of concern? You're always worried about stuff as a coach, I'm sure, no matter how great or bad you're playing, right?
Yeah, regardless. Because now when you go into the playoffs, you want everything perfect. You want everybody you need there. You want your backups who you've hopefully given, and I'm sure they have, a lot of playing time during the season. Now they're ready to step in case of injury. Kicker would be important because not so much that they need him to get extra points and field goals, and they have a lot of opportunities. Is he the kickoff person? Is he the punter also? Some teams the kicker and the place kicker and the punter are the same guy. So you don't know. That's I think really what it comes down to it, because you got to have a smart kicker in terms of how you get the game started off with in the end zone, 20 or whatever. But I would say no matter who you are, you do not want to lose any starter permanently for the regular postseason.
Okay. As we look at some more of the before we come more scores and some thoughts here, I'm going to read you 3 McCain's quotes real quickly from the game. It doesn't matter about the 80 points a game that people want to keep talking about, is what McCain told Charlie Baumgartner at the Tyler Daily Press. It doesn't matter about beating Wise, beating Highland Springs, beating Gilby. None of that matters anymore. I think we are starting to get healthy and play our best ball when we need to. The guys know what is at stake. We know the next phase next week is when it counts, and that's what we really want. End quote. And almost reading that, I can hear Ray Lewis's voice. I remember Ray Lewis, if you watched the 30 for 30 on the Ravens or the NFL America's game, remember he was, got obstruction and just had the whole trouble legal issue at the Super Bowl before that, Rams Titans. We know he was going to play again. Brian Billick put the moniker out there about the P word in the playoffs. It used to make the playoffs. And then he said, men, now it's time to go to the Super Bowl. But I can hear Ray Lewis say, none of that matters. I've been defensive player of the year. I've been this. I need to go to the Super Bowl now. I'm hearing Drew McKinnon was saying, none of that matters. It's state championship now. I can hear him just basically saying that. Was that what you take away hearing those comments, or what's your feeling? He doesn't care about the noise. He wants to keep the laser focus, knowing they're playing so great, any little sidetrack can take them off their mission.
Right, because he set up his season, his non-district schedule for this. They played extremely well. Points on the board all over the place. 5 shutouts the last part of the season. So offense is rolling. Defense is locked in. Okay, this is what we've been playing for. We don't have time for screw-ups. Our projection is state championship game, win it. That's where he's at, and that's what he wants the mindset of the kids. But at the same time, got to take care of that's what's in front of you. But they've already proven that. And, just looking at the matchups, and like I said, my school, Nan's River, could be their second-round opponent, or it could be a rematch with Granby, who they just massacred here last night. So you got to take care of what's in front of you, and it's nice on paper. You got all your stats done, your power ratings. You got to go out on the field and get it done.
So we saw that Maury won, Lake Taylor won, Norcom, Churchland prevailed. Norview season is done. Manor is getting into playoffs as they're a 7 seed in February, which we showed. Going to open up at the number 2 seed in Ward Hill. It's a rematch from back in early in the season when Ward Hill won rather comfortably over Manor, 49-8. As far as Booker T, the 8 going to have to open up at the number 1 in Hopewell. That's no easy task. Hopewell almost beat Thomas Dale. So Gary Hess on my podcast on the Hatfield on Thursday, and he talked about Hopewell can win the Class 3 state title. They're good. If they're healthy, they had some offensive linemen out against Dale. They beat Prince George last night. And then Lake Taylor's waiting to see. If you're Heritage, would you rather get Grafton or Lake Taylor as the 5 seed? I don't know that you prefer either one of them so much. But
you hate to say I prefer somebody because be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
But that Lake Taylor name and
going to Norfolk.
Right. Yeah. Going into Norfolk, and, Hank Sawyer, I'm sure will have something up his sleeve playoff time. He's been there many a time. Of course, you got to get done on, again, I've said it 5-6 times in the last 5 minutes. Still got to get it done on the field. But I don't want to pick, but I'd say I don't want to see Lake Taylor.
Yeah, I would say the Titans at the same token want to be a 3-4 because then you see Hopewell in the second round, but then again you get Lafayette in the second round. They beat Lafayette in the playoffs. They've lost to Hopewell this year, so that makes it interesting on that front. Hey, look who's tuning into us. Our man Dan Malloy out there, former Bethel assistant coach, college hoops coach. Wanted to shout out Dan. Good to see him. Great dude.
What's up, Danny?
He's out there, as is our good friend Lynn Burke, who's watching the show. Great show as usual. You are the very best.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you for tuning in. So always comment. Send us any questions you got, any suggestions, any feedback, always on our 757 Sports Talk Twitter feed and on Facebook. We're streaming there. YouTube, you can comment. It's all over the place and on VirginiaPreps.com. You can even join us on the screen live if you want by clicking that StreamYard link that's on my Facebook, our Twitter feed, and on the VirginiaPreps.com plate as well. Quickly here, as we move forward to a couple more of the regions, we go back to those pairings real quickly. Looking at, let's go up top. We've been jumping all over the place from 3 to 4 to 5. Let's go from 6 and take it down here. Just get some quick hitter thoughts, if you will, from the postseason here. In Class 6 Region A, you've got Cosby, the 8 seed at 4 and 6 at Highland Springs, the 1. Western Branch is the 7, who won the region last year. Remember, they graduate Shamik Blizzard, Paul Billups, who's at North Carolina, and a host of others. They're going to go to Thomas Dale, the 2 seed at 10-0. You say, how did Dale get jumped by Highland Springs? Well, PowerPoints is how the strength of schedule helped them out a great deal, including Norcom beating Booker T, by the way. And again, this is unofficial. Beach still releases it on Sunday. Lansdowne, the 6 at Manchester, the 3. Oscar Smith, the 5 at Glen Allen, the 4. How about that game? Tigers go to Glen Allen to take on Perry Jones, their former star record-setting running back who's coaching the Jaguars, having a great year. And who do you favor in that game? Glen Allen's been good. They don't have a lot of star power, but this Oscar Smith team is young. Freshman quarterback and Lonnie Andrews III. That might be as fascinating a first-round game as there is involving 757, 804 teams, and among the top 5 or 10 in the state, I'd say. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking to myself here, is this the first time Oscar Smith has opened up first round
on the road? It's, you want to know the last time? Look at this. He's going to ask me a question. I got to go through the archives.
Go through the archives, look
find it, and I'm going to give you an answer.
It'll be interesting. Perry Jones, the former Tiger alumnus. Of course, he didn't play under Coach.
He didn't play under Rich Morgan. Yes, he did.
No, he played under Morgan, but not Scott.
No, he didn't play under Chris Scott. Correct. So Chris Scott.
Sometimes you want to say, well, he'll know their system.
No,
he knows of them.
Oh, he definitely knows of them. Yeah, he definitely knows of them. But you didn't answer. You dodged my question. Who are you giving the nod to? You're going to wait for the picks later on in the week when Virginia Prep and people wake? He doesn't want to give us a straight answer, ladies and gents. See, this is
I know who I'm
Coach
picking.
Just
I know who I'm
Coach
picking.
Speak over here.
I
know who you're picking. You're picking the blue and gold of Oscar Smith. Is it possible?
I didn't say that.
Is it possible the 804 sweeps the 757?
It could be.
Not looking too good.
Could be.
Not looking too good. Last time they opened up on the road in the first round of the playoffs, you wanted to answer that.
Yeah, I want to know that one.
You got to go back to their first ever playoff game. Now, I'm not going to count neutral site in 2009 where they played Kempsville. It was on a Saturday or Sunday night because of weather against Kempsville here at the Sportsplex. I'm not going to count that, but they were a lower seed, the road team. 2003 against Chris Beatty's Lansdowne Eagles with Devion Simmons, the late great Devion Simmons and Percy Harvin in that team. They lost 35-6. Their first ever playoff game as a school. So think about this. This is their 75th playoff game. They haven't had an opening round road playoff game, lower seed, in 74 of them. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
totally crazy.
20 years. Yeah, that's crazy.
We got a question out there from Jerry Massey. Hello from Spotsman. I'm not sure if it has been covered, but it looks like the road to Lynchburg in Class 4 most likely goes through Phoebus in 4A as they outpointed King George in 4B. And he says, of course, I mean for the A and B teams. Thank you, Jerry, for tuning in. And that's a good point here. I think it will go through at Darling Stadium in Hampton, but we'll get to the 4A thought in a second. I want to get to that. It's a good point from Jerry. We thank him for tuning into the show here as we get more and more comments as it's spicing up here for the playoffs, which we love. We'll get to that in a second. I want to go back to that in a second. We're going to go to break here. Let's tackle 5As. You see the matchups: Deep Creek at Green Run, Salem at Tallwood. Remember, they played a great game, 48-42 back in September. Caden Davis got the Chicho's Pizza Player of the Week in that game. He had a bunch of touchdowns, including a defensive pick 6. Bayside at Indian River. You've got Kempsville at Cox. We'll get to 5B in a second. Kempsville at Cox. Kempsville ran for 300 plus 2 weeks ago on Cox. And we'll dive in this a little bit more with Tyler Noe's clip from his game afterwards. That's an interesting game. But I want to focus on the Bayside Indian River, Salem Tallwood. Of those two lower seeds, who do you give the better chance to win the game in advance? I think Green Run feels like a pretty comfortable favorite against Deep Creek. Would you not agree? No disrespect to Andre Twan and the Hornets.
Yeah, and again, this is tough. We kind of have to be our prognosticators that we sometimes are. Deep Creek, no disrespect to you, but I don't know who's going to be Green Run.
And have to play great defense and control the clock, which is possible. And they did play Indian River to a 10-0 game. So they were in the game with them. And I think Green Run was breathing a sigh of relief. They didn't get Kempsville, who knows them quite well. They played in the regional finals last 2 years. They didn't get Bayside, who was tied with them for 2.5 quarters. And they didn't get Indian River, who at one point was looking like a possible 8 seed until they beat Indian River and closed the season strong to get all the way up to 3. They were on the outside at one point just a few weeks ago. So.
I kind of look at Bayside. I like what John White does year in and year out. They could be a team that really puts it together, at least for this game. Not that Indian River is shabby by any means. They're hosting the game. They're pretty good. I can see that. Kempsville Cox, yes, it was great before, but I think Cox with this last statement game, I think they're a little bit ahead of Kempsville right now, but I'd have to look a little bit more into that. I would say potential upset is of course Salem over Tallwood. I think is the easiest to pick because again we're going 5-4, and a lot of people say you can't pick 5 over 4 and call it an upset. They're too close. But that would be the one to look at. And if we step outside of that comfort zone, I'd say Bayside might make it interesting against Indian River.
See, I think Indian River, I'll touch back on the 5 when we come back from break. Get a thought on that in a second. I think Indian River can be another team that can maybe pose some problems for Green Run down the road. I'll give you a reason why in a little bit. But quickly to Jerry's thing, and we'll go back to 5B after break. 4A, 3A, and finish up. Then we'll spin ourselves into some pro and college sports talk with some Wembenyama, Wemby Mania, buy or sell on our NFL picks here on this Saturday, getting closer to 12 noon and the college football games kicking off. His point about Class 4, Phoebus has been so great this year on defense. They're going to get probably a King. We see the projections with 4B up there. a King George, a Verina, a Dinwiddie. Easterview, you can't count them out either because they've had a good year. But do you worry about if Phoebus? I do. If they get behind multiple scores in a state semifinal coming out of 4A, I don't know if their offense is as crisp as it needs to beat one of those teams if they get up, because Dinwiddie and King George like track meets. And just last week, Verina played a doozy of a game with Highland Springs, and this is with a backup quarterback getting an 80-yard touchdown pass in the fourth quarter before the Springers came down to win it. So can they match a team score for score? You say, well, Phoebus' defense isn't going to let that happen, but you do wonder if Phoebus could get picked off. 30-game winning streak, it's hard to keep that going. It really is.
It is and all that, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'll say Phoebus will be the state tournament.
Well, we get that. It's Final Four. I'm talking about if they see those teams out of 4B, do they win? Could that be their stumbling block game? More so than the championship, which they might see a Salem from out west, someone out of 4C, 4D, Jefferson Forest is a candidate as well, Tuscarora, John Champ. Whichever teams are candidates, but it feels like that semifinal game could be the harder game than the championship game for them.
And it could be, and we always say that a lot of times that does happen, that teams will experience a tougher semifinal game, getting in the championship, win by 4 or 5 touchdowns. Smithfield is not used to being behind a couple of scores late.
Smithfield?
I mean, I just looked at them. They got a matchup at Hampton, another traditionally in the past great team. I think Phoebus will be all right. I don't think they're going to get down a couple 3 scores. I think their defense will turn it up even more so. I think they'll get enough points early and be able to hold off most teams. I don't see what we're thinking could happen.
Warhill's saying, what about us? We can beat Phoebus. I think they don't have McAdoo, so that's going to be a little harder. Jerry wants to clarify, 4 is a gauntlet, no doubt about it. I was just talking about if higher seeds hold. I wasn't sure if King George somehow picked up enough points last night to host a state semi. I haven't run the numbers for that, Jerry. Good question. I don't think that they did, because I know Phoebus got the bonus from – they played Denby, which was much of a bonus, but they got the bonus from Oscar Smith winning. And I don't know that King George got enough. We'll have to run the numbers on that and try to give an answer later. But I wish I could give that answer at this moment. I just unfortunately do not have that in front of me. Hampton Smithfield, though. Hampton's an interesting game first round there. And I think in 4A it's going to be chalky. I would be stunned if a lower seed won at any of those levels. Even if Smithfield played pretty well, I'd be stunned.
And I'll say this to Jerry out there. Jerry, if King George is going to have to get to Phoebus,
they got to beat Verina and Dinwiddie.
They got to beat Verina and Dinwiddie, and that's not a given.
Remember, they lost a classic last year to Dinwiddie with Harry Dalton. And remember, Dinwiddie's got the 7-3, but they played a great schedule. They played Maury. They played a team out of Ohio to begin the year. We had Billy Mills and a couple of the standouts on the pod. It was Savon McDowell, the Coastal Carolina commit with Dalton, who was starting to hit the rear form. Read Dan Lewis's article on VirginiaPreps.com. He's got a recap from their game with Matoka last night. It could be the team that wins 5C. And Verina, I've seen them live. Their defense, remember, they gave Freedom of Woodbridge their toughest game of the year, and they have 2 capable quarterbacks. So if they don't go with Linwood Johnson, this Caleb Weish kid, younger brother of basketball star, state player here, KJ Weish, they can get it done a couple different ways. So it'll be interesting to see how that all unfolds. We'll take our time out and come back with some more. Tyler Noe's interview from Cox, as well as some 3A, 4A thoughts. We'll go into buy or sell. NFL Pick Talk coming your way here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk from the Plex. And Ed, we're going to hear from a couple more of our sponsors, including John's Tax Service, CHKD, and Zoop. We got to go get some soup at Zoop.
That weather, boy, some of the days we had last week, we need that Zoop.
Coming back in a bit. Stay tuned.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
At CHKD, sports medicine is more than just treating injuries. It's a whole team approach to caring for young athletes. With experienced physicians, surgeons, trainers, and rehab specialists here when kids and teens need them most. Our experts help young athletes prevent injuries too, with advanced training and conditioning programs that keep them in the game safely. CHKD Sports Medicine, where kids are more than patients and we're more than a hospital.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
I'm here with Cox head football coach Tyler Noe. His Falcons win at 49-7 on senior night as the band is playing. They celebrated an 8-2 finish, Coach. What can you say? You beat the Knights by running clock. They were playing for their playoff lives. You guys have had 4 nail-biting wins over Kempsville and Lansdowne and Salem and Bayside, but you go into the playoffs, maybe with your best performance of the year, do we say?
Yes, sir. We knew going in what they needed to do to win the game, and we knew that we needed to secure the 2 seed going in. So, I mean, these kids just, we were out here in the rain on Tuesday, out here in the cold yesterday, get ready for the night. And I can't say more about our seniors. Came out here and they produced all night for us.
They really did. And your offensive line set the tone for your quarterback, Gage Treffry, who was just magnificent with the fakes, running the option for you. And then Josh Walton runs for, I think Doug's got the official stats, 245 yards. It's like the 5th or 6th highest total in school history. You guys really, and the 6 of 6 on third downs, you did everything you wanted from an execution standpoint, did you not?
Yes, sir. Our running back, Tyree Jeffries, was sick all week, so he wasn't at school, didn't play. And Josh, being a senior, he was our number 2F. And I told him going into this week that he's going to have a heck of a game. And, I mean, senior night, he didn't want to come out, but we knew we had to get him out of there for next week. And Gage runs the offense great. Our line blocking, Gerard out there playing tight end, not wanting to come out. But I can't say more about Josh Walton running that ball. Hard, physical. I don't even know if he had any negative yards, but he really went out there and didn't stop running.
Yeah, more yards in this game than he had all season coming in. And really the thing that got me, I said, it looks easy to you, but it's like, it's not easy, but what makes it easy is what we go through in practice. You spoke about that. Are you since this group has come together with those close wins you've gotten?
Absolutely. After that Tallwood game, that was a kick in the gut for us. And these seniors really set the tone the rest of this year going into the playoffs. And we try to make practice as tough as possible so it's easy for them at the games.
You had some wrinkles, too. You had the option. You ran some Wildcat with Max Palmerton tonight. How much do you feel like they're gaining some, I don't know if versatility is the right word, but flexibility with what you can do, be it offensively, and I know schematically your defense has gotten better and was pretty strong tonight as well.
Yeah, Brian Graham, our D coordinator, always has a great game plan going in. Just these kids getting buying into the option when we put it in. And just getting really, really good at it. That's what we practice. All practice is the option. And we just try to get really good at that and go back to the heyday of when Stack was here running the option. I mean, I coached for him for 10 years, so that's really what I know.
Sure. Well, and teams that are physical, run the ball, stop the run, win in November, and it gets cold in the playoffs here. But you also have a quarterback that can make efficient throws. Gage Treffry. He found Chase Landau tonight. He found Walton. He found Gerard Johnson, the big Virginia Tech commit on defense. So you have some guys, when you have to throw it, you can execute with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Gage throws a very pretty ball. If we give him time, he can find the open receivers, and he just puts it right on them.
Last 2 for you. I talked about it when you had that comeback win against Salem on a Thursday night here, and you're doing well on Thursday nights. So you have probably a playoff game on a Thursday night. Your kicker, Sam Braywood, he's going to William & Mary, perfect on 7 of 7 extra points. He's a factor for you, too, because he puts in the end zone touchbacks, and you can kick a long field goal with him, can you not?
Absolutely. He's got one of the strongest legs I think I've ever coached here at Cox. Going to William & Mary, like you said. The biggest thing for him is the touchbacks. When we don't have to cover on kickoff, it's a beautiful thing. He's one of the best weapons we have on this team.
Lastly, you get this win. The team's feeling great about it. Playoffs, you don't know who you're going to draw, whether it's Kempsville, Deep Creek, fill in the blank. But what's kind of the message as you go into your first postseason as a head coach? You've been on the staffs before with these playoff runs. You mentioned Coach Stack. What are you telling them as you go in? And I don't know that you guys are being slept on anymore with this type of win.
I don't think so either. And what I told them yesterday in our walkthrough is that I'm tired of being on a Cox staff, that we just go out there and are okay with winning one playoff game. And they know that the goal is to play the day after Thanksgiving, and we're going to keep chugging away at this thing as long as we can.
Coach Noe and the Falcons winning on senior night. They're raising the bar. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.
All right, we're back here, 757 Saturday Sports Talk at the PLEX with the coach Ed Young. I am Matt Hatfield. That was Tyler Noe, head football coach of the Cox Falcons. Ed, interesting comments, raising the bar. He's tired of being first round and out. I like it, though. He was really mild-mannered, calm, reserved at the very end. It's just like, look, we want to bang the door down and get through this thing. They got Kempsville coming up in the 2-7 matchup. It was 22-21 a couple weeks ago, as we mentioned, 300-plus yards for the Chiefs on the ground. And I would have probably picked Kempsville to upset Cox in this rematch until I saw live and in person what Cox did to Kellam, and that they just took their game to another level. Now, was that an aberration? Can they do that again? We shall see. And Kempsville has some playoff experience of having been there before. So that will be interesting to see how that unfolds coming up in the playoff games, which, by the way, I have not gotten word on the dates and times of this. I was told they might have Region 5A play on Thursday. Some will play on Friday. Now, obviously, the Peninsula schools have to play some on Saturday because you have two Hampton City schools. They share their own stadium, Hampton and Phoebus, that are hosting. Two Newport News schools we thought would be hosting, although Heritage is going to open up on the road. So Warwick will play Friday unless they want to play Saturday. So there's a little bit of sharing stadiums with the Peninsula schools. But there could be a Thursday game, which could mean I have a little playoff game to cover before I make that little trip to Muncie, Indiana coming up.
Yeah, it will. I'm sure we'll have some Thursday games, Thursday, Friday, and, of course, a couple of Saturdays. They try to even it out. I hope the weather's good. I hope we don't have any rain in the forecast or it pops up. Or let's have the playoffs have some really decent weather. Going back to Cox in the interview, yeah, I like Coach Noe in terms of probably at that walkthrough. He said it a little bit more forceful than he said it with you in the interview about mindset for the kids, and it worked in the game because they came out and played so well and on the ground game was just perfect. Not sure you can do that 2 years in a row. 2 years. 2 weeks in a row, and you have Kempsville, who knows you very well, just like they know Kempsville. I think it'll be a much closer game. I kind of
they played a close game the last time. You mean in the Kellam Cox game?
Yes, and then with the Kellam game, with the Kellam one. So
sure,
I think Kempsville and Cox will be much closer. And at this point, toss up.
Okay, so it's more of in your eyes, like a 4-5 than say a 2-7 type of game.
It could be, but again, I agree. Not at the game last night, you weren't, but hearing about it, Cox is coming in just the right way. Played really well, executed so well. Did a lot of things, put most points on they've had on the year on the board. Stringent defense. So it's the way you want to come into the playoffs, and it doesn't matter who you play first round.
Okay, we're going to share screen. This is going to be fun. We'll see how this goes here on the show. This could be dangerous. We could be.
People get ready. We could be turned off right here.
This is going to be fun here. We're going to give you quick hitter region championship picks. Then we'll take a quick timeout and come back with buy or sell. So here we go. This is going to be a lot of fun here. It would like to record. I don't know if we want to record this screen set. We can do that. I don't care.
No.
We can deny.
All I know is I can't see my face on the screen, which is a good thing.
Here we go. Let's see if it's working. All right, we're showing my playoffs. Can we zoom in is the question. That's what we want to do. We want to zoom in on this. That's what we want to do. Oh, look at this. Let's see if this works. We're going to see here. Look at this. Let's look at this. I'm on a delay, but we can see this. So give me your region championship. Top of the bracket, bottom of the bracket. This is fun here. This is fun.
You want me to pick them all the way through, or just?
I want you to do that. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean,
just six. Give me. I'm going to go Highland Springs.
Yes.
Thomas Dale. Springers win it.
I'm going to have to agree. Thomas Dale's undefeated season will come to an end.
Okay, that's what he's going to say.
Because we can't give our definite picks until later in the week.
Okay,
we have to put the proverbial pod tease.
The pod tease. All right, let's go to the next page if we can. Now the question is how we scroll down to it. All right, 5A. I think we're back with it. Let's see if we got this here. Green Run, Deep Creek, Tallwood, Salem, Indian River, Bayside, Cox, Kempsville. Give me your region final. What you got? I'm going to go with Green Run. I love what I saw from Cox, but I'm going to go Indian River, and I'm going to
mess me up.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. You ready for this one? Here's a bold prediction.
Indian River going to beat Green Run.
Indian River is going to lead Green Run. I think perhaps at halftime, but I think the Stallions will come roaring back. It'll be a lot like their Kempsville win 2 years ago. That pass rush led by Jordan Harris, and not just Jordan Harris. You got a lot of good players on that Indian River defense. Foss Canyon on the back end. You got Johnny Shaw coming after people. Shout out to him. Camille Mason. I think they're going to give them trouble. I got a Green Run Indian River region final. Stallions win it for the third straight year in 5A. Now watch Bayside go knock off Indian River and get Bayside Kempsville in the second round. But there you go. And Tallwood Salem, if it's anything like the 48-42 game, that might be your game to go to first round, right? We'll put up a poll about that later along on 757 Sports Talk as we move it along here. Let's go down to now, as we scroll down to 4A. Phoebus, Jamestown, Hampton, Smithfield, Churchland, Gloucester, War Hill, Manor. I see chalk. Phoebus over War Hill next. Although Churchland says, watch out for us. We can give War Hill its first loss because you want to know why? You want to know why? You want to know why, Ed?
Because they can score.
Well, they can score. That helps. You have to score. You have to stop people. No McAdoo. And what happened last year? They played last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the playoffs? Who won?
If I'm not mistaken, Churchland.
They did 38-12, and they've won 4 of the 5 meetings all time. So got a little head-to-head factor that's in their favor. I'm going to go Phoebus over War Hill. Are you bold enough to say Phoebus over Churchland or something else?
I'm going this year with War Hill, Phoebus to be War Hill.
He's going to go with Phoebus over War Hill. All right. Let's go to our next one up on the docket. We did 4A. By the way, real quickly, 4B, what do you think of that region real fast? I'm going to go, my gosh, King George, Dinwiddie, Verina. King George has to improve some things. And Jerry made a good point up there on our chat. The battlefield was not as good. Dinwiddie's tough schedule. Oh, I'm so torn. I want to take King George. I really do over Dinwiddie. It's just hard to go against the Generals there. I think with the 10-0, it's hard. I'll probably go Dinwiddie over Verina there. It's tricky, though. What do you think?
You just stole my pick.
Oh, look at you.
You stole my pick.
We agreed too much.
I didn't like that either because I thought I had the ace in the hole with Dinwiddie at 7-3.
And we'll have 4A, 4D in my spreadsheet later on here. 3A, Hopewell, Booker T, Grafton, Lake Taylor with Heritage, Lake Taylor, Grafton against Colonial Heights, Lafayette, Tab. Real quick disclaimer, does that affect who you pick there with the situation of the seeding with today's St. Chris Collegiate game to determine that point? Or are you going either way, a Hopewell, Lafayette? What's your feel? I'll let you go first since I picked.
Well, first of all, if Lake Taylor finishes over Grafton, they'll play Heritage first round at Heritage. If I'm reading
they finish over Grafton, they'll be the 3 seed.
They'll be the 3 seed. They'll host, play Colonial Heights. They will beat Colonial Heights. If they lose,
I think Grafton can beat Colonial Heights as well.
If they lose, they will go to. They'll stay at home, and Heritage will come to them.
Right. Both of these teams are going to host a playoff. It's just a matter of what seed they are and who they
what
play.
Seed. Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you're right. I'm looking at. Well, see, I would go Lake Taylor over Heritage, but a Heritage over Grafton. Lake Taylor over Colonial Heights. And Grafton over Colonial Heights. Okay. I'm not giving Colonial Heights any respect.
No respect. You're running into who you got in the region final.
The final doesn't matter. I'm going Hopewell, Lafayette. I want Lafayette to win, but I think Hopewell win.
Why do you want them? You have something against Mike
757.
Mike Whittington, the Hopewell grad. You got something against him?
It's 757. I want 757.
You're not from 757. You're from Pennsylvania. Why do you care?
Yeah, but I'm 814 can't play down here.
814. Oh, that's like the 804, but it's got a 1 there, not a 0. All right, let's go to 2A here real quickly. Pocosa, Nandua, King William, Bruton, Amelia County, Greensville, Central Lunenburg, Southampton. I'm going to shock you here.
I don't shock me because I'm going Central Lunenburg to win it all.
Really?
Yep.
Even after that loss to Amelia, you're going with my guy, Will Thomas.
Yep.
Shout out to Will Thomas, huh?
Back in the day, Central Lunenburg was a power.
They were, and you're going with them to win this region.
Really?
We're going to make Elliott Duty and the Islanders mad at us.
And I want Pocosin if they match. I want Pocosin.
You ready for this? You ready for this? King William Cavaliers 5-5. They play the toughest schedule in the state. I think they can win this region. I really do.
Ooh.
I wonder about the hangover effect because remember they played a close game last year. I think they can win this region. I think it's very, very possible. I think the winner of King William and Pocosin in the second round wins that region. Sorry, Amelia, Greensville, Lunenburg, and Southampton. And Bruton had a first round home and they just didn't quite finish the deal to have it. So there you have it. We're going to stop the share screen. We're back on ours. People like looking at the spreadsheets better than us, I'm sure.
I do. I'd rather look at the spreadsheet. I'm anxious to pick the teams.
We'll have to do that again with basketball season. That's going to be a lot of fun, isn't it? It's going to be great.
It'll be nerve-wracking.
Zoom in on it. It's beautiful. That bobblehead in the background. Where did Randy Johnson go, by the way? He's out of the picture.
Randy's out of the picture. He's retired.
Back here. Here we go. We got to get some more starting lineups on here.
Hey, we need to get a sponsor for these pairings and picks.
He's going to fall down. We don't have our background up today.
Randy's old. Randy is old. Randy's old.
You know, Randy takes pictures, by the way, now. He's a photographer.
I saw that somewhere. Yeah.
So was King Griffey. So was King Griffey Jr. How about that?
Johnson at 6'10".
It's crazy.
He don't need a tripod.
We've got buy or sell coming up next. It's Hatfield and Young at the PLEX. We're going to hear from a couple more of our sponsors, including some of the NFL greats and Freddy's and Gatorade. It's all coming up. Don't touch that dial.
Man,
I wish I was out there.
Let's unretire.
Why not?
Randy Moss.
Dan Marino? You alright?
Hey, Grandpa!
Grandpa?
I still got it.
22. 22.
Career game number 13.
Let's see.
Hey. I need that senior discount.
That's the game. Mr. Marino, you mind if I take a selfie? Thank you.
I'm good. Right here, bro.
Unretirement? Who'd be dumb enough to do that?
Okay, who here has reached peak fall?
Peak what?
Peak fall.
I am wearing plaid.
And I'm wearing a cardigan.
I guess I am eating snickerdoodle cookie dough.
And I am eating a pumpkin pie blizzard.
The new DQ Fall Blizzard menu has reached peak fall. Pumpkin pie, snickerdoodle cookie dough, and more. They are back.
I just love fall.
Apparently we all do.
Oh, they did it. Peak fall achieved. DQ, happy tastes good.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels.
I used to go missing all the time. I let everyone down. I even let Shannon Sharp down.
Yeah, you let me down.
They've been told how you feel yourself doesn't matter, that electrolytes are all the same. Then just like that, they're gone. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Could be the difference between dominating and disappearing. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
Shot clock is off. Wembanyama goes right by Durant. Oh! With the left hand. Oh, look at KD's face.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we're back here, 757 Saturday Sports Talk at the Plex with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matt Hatfield. Victor Wembanyama, how good is that guy? Have you watched him play yet? Oh, my gracious.
I've seen him once. Saw him the exhibition, the first exhibition game. I saw him the other day, regular season. Yes, he's 7'4". He can do some stuff. I'm not.
Some stuff? Did you just see what he did?
I understand that. But
did you watch
most of the guys in the NBA can do that. That's not that great of a move. And he's 7'4". I would expect him to do that.
Watch it again.
Shot clock is off. Wembanyama goes right by Durant. Oh! With the left hand. Oh, look at KD's face.
Now, I didn't have him on that particular video, but there's Reggie Miller and Brian Anderson. Reggie Miller, like he about was going, crazy.
Reggie, stop it. You've seen better. Back in the day, he wouldn't be able to do that. Ben Wallace, Charles Oakley, Ricky Mahorn, Bill Lambert would put him on the ground.
He's a freak. Get off your 80s. Back in my day, get off my lawn guy. Back in my day, we put him through glass window. Charles Oakley.
He's never been on the lawn.
Rick Mahorn.
The kid is going to be
He's
good.
a freakazoid. He's an alien.
Let's not go crazy over him right now. Of course, the NBA right now, NBA needs to boost everybody. Because it's a stupid in-season tournament going on, which I don't want to get into because I'll say the wrong words. But Wemby is going to be all right.
By the way, I do think it's dumb that the in-season tournament. I can't.
But the move he did was, we always get excited about dunks in the NBA, but that move right there, you got guys, 11th man on most every team in the NBA can do that.
So quit.
You guys get
too
excited.
38 and 10 the other night against the Suns. They beat the Suns twice in 3 days in Phoenix. By the way,
the number
what
one
are you
pick in
doing?
the draft.
What are you doing, Frank Vogel? You can advance the ball in a timeout. You're up 20 in this game. You had a 2% chance to lose, and you lost it. You and Coach Prime. You don't get your theme music. Speaking of Coach Prime, by the way, how about him as we flash up some college football tickers we regular buy or sell? The matchups today involving top 25 teams in the nation.
Prime a little upset. He demoted his.
Pat Shermer now is calling the shots here. So what are we doing? And he's destroying the offensive line last week. I mean, didn't you pick some of these guys? Not all of them. Some of them.
Well, that
Come
is
on now.
their weakness. Their line is a weakness. Everybody said
Well,
that.
no, their defense can't tackle. They can't stop
they're
water.
gonna
Use
have
the old
to-
Mike Smith phrase.
They've got great quote skills people. Now they got to go out and get some really tough line.
He's calling them skill people now instead of hands people. They say hands people. Changing up his terminology.
It's what football does. Everybody's skilled out there. I don't. It's like the player of the week we have here. It's Chicho's, right?
Yeah.
I'll guarantee you, a lineman will never be picked for player of the week.
Wait, is that Tyree Jeffries' fault?
No, but I'm throwing that at the committee. You will never pick a lineman. A lineman will probably never win the Heisman Trophy.
If a defensive lineman gets 4 sacks next week, I'm challenging out there some of you guys, you pass
Come on,
rushers.
lineman, let's go.
Manny
Let's
Azagu from Nansemond River, Jordan
Come
Harris
on.
from Indian River. Who else we got here that can make some plays defensive line? We got a bunch of Maury's got a couple of them that can change a game. You know what? They had a guy force a couple fumbles. You might be surprised at that.
How about an offensive lineman?
And defensive back can get it. with a couple
Offensive
picks.
lineman is very rarely going to ever score.
Well,
unless he picks
one
up the ball.
specific, it's hard to get that an offensive lineman player.
I'm just making a point. So we call
Yeah, you're not really making a
skill.
point.
Yes,
You're
I
just
am. We call them
complaining.
skills people, the quarterback, the receiver, the running.
How about this to make you happy? How about this? This will make Ed Young
We
happy.
should have a lineman of the week.
Oh,
and
I
a
got
player.
better. I want you to give us like the all Madden team used to do. John Madden, the late great John Madden, the all Madden team. We'll pick the top 5 offensive alignment into 757.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be
Send
nice.
us your nominations on Instagram, or it says Instaface, Snapgram, and Face Chat. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, VirginiaPreps.com. We want to hear the top 5 linemen. And you know what? We might even up the top 10 linemen in the whole state. Offensive lineman. Can we do defensive lineman too, or just offensive lineman?
Well, why? Yeah, we got to give love both sides of the line. You need a line.
Two-way lineman.
Yeah, let's do
You
that.
going to pick an all Ed Young line team for us?
I should
You're
do that.
going to dive in. You're going to watch some film and dissect it.
I want to watch
Who's
the film,
got the best hand
dissect
plays?
it.
You're going to talk to some assistant line coaches because that's the way to. When you pick all regional all state teams, by the way, you got to talk to the line coach because they're in the trenches with these guys all the time.
And we need a sponsor
some
for
line
the
coaches.
lineman.
Whittington was a line coach for years. I know your favorite line coach was your good buddy Scott Burnett, who used to coach at Oscar Smith for many years. He's now down in Marietta. I don't think he's coaching anymore. He's enjoying his Wisconsin Badgers. I'm glad he is because I wasn't sure join him when they lost to Iowa a few weeks ago. Oh my gosh! And by the way, Iowa, is there a worse offense to watch in college football than theirs? They are dreadful to watch. Oh my Lord! Big Ten, the team that plays Michigan or Ohio State in championship game, they should just forfeit the game. It's not even watchable. It's terrible. What do you think about Hokies Louisville today? Can the Hokies win that game?
I heard about that during the week. If it was at Virginia Tech, I would definitely pick the upset. It's at Louisville. I'm going to say 60-40 Louisville, maybe 50.
It's a high scoring game.
Yeah. No, not
percentages.
score,
Okay. If it's 100 points on the board, I'm watching that.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll have 100 points in Southern Cal and Washington. Take the over in that game, folks.
Yeah, because they're
not stopping anybody. And those offenses with Michael Penix, the Heisman favorite, by the way. I should ask you on buy or sell, who's going to win the Heisman? Michael Penix, are you buying or selling it? Or are you going to buy or sell Daniels from LSU? Are you going to buy or sell? Or you ain't going to buy or sell May now from North Carolina? But you know what you are going to buy or sell? The questions we got coming up for you right now here with buy or sell. And one of them involves our good buddy Wimby from the Spurs. Everyone knows it's Wimby. It's not Wimby. It's Wimby. Remember that song?
I remember it.
I just made a new one. Yeah, everyone knows it's Wimby. First one involves a 757 guy playing in the National Basketball Association. Cam Thomas. Ed Young had to once try to stop this guy. He couldn't do it. He was unsuccessful. As was just about everybody. Played at Oscar Smith. Played for Boo Williams on the travel circuit. The Chesapeake native averaged 29.1 points per game through 10 starts. I don't have space between 3 and 10, but oh well. The most of any player to debut in the NBA since 1970-71. Will he finish in the top 5 in scoring in the league? Are you buying or selling that?
If he's getting starter minutes.
Well, he's been coming off the bench generally.
Well, you can still get starter minutes coming off the bench. Starting's not all that important.
Can we share screen the leading scores in the league right now?
It's who's
can't do that.
It's who's in their crunch time, who's playing
He's down
minutes.
to 4. He's down to, what is he down to now? He's down to tied for 13th with Tyler Hero. It's Luka, Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum. I'm not sure. This is no knock to Cam, who's a prolific scorer, great scorer.
Right. That's what he
Defense
does.
is not his strong
Right.
suit.
That's why his NBA can score it.
I'm not sure who's his team is scoring. So I'm going to say I'm going to sell this. As much as I like to see it for his sake,
Yeah,
I can't buy it.
I would buy it if I knew he's going to play 45 minutes a game.
Now, top 5 in the East, I might buy that. I could buy that.
But top 10 in the league, there's a lot of ball hogs out there.
Yeah.
I would sell it also.
How How about Victor Wembanyama, the rookie sensation from the Spurs, my dad's favorite team out there? He's averaging 20.6 points per game on 50% shooting from the field through 5 games. Will he earn first, second, or third team All-NBA recognition? I think he's going to get Rookie of the Year. And by the way, Chet Holmgren is a candidate for that from Oklahoma City. Can he get to – I don't think he's going to get first, second team All-NBA, but can he get third team All-NBA? I think it's quite possible. It's quite possible.
I'm going to say that he could. I want to lean and say no. I don't. If he's 13, that means he's top 15 in the NBA.
Well, then say no because you're.
Let me say no. I sell it.
He's a seller. He's a sellout.
I like the kid.
Sellout. No,
but
you
I'm not
don't.
Going, oh yes, I do. I love the kid, but I don't. I like to see the Celtics have him, but I don't.
The Celtics. I thought your team was the Knicks.
No, Celtics.
Oh,
I have a Knick jacket, but I like the Celtics. Because you know me, I'll wear anything that's free.
That's right. Saley and Clarence are your buddies too. I'm going to buy it for third team NBA. Here's why. I thought your over pick them was terrible, but I think they will now end up having a chance to win 35, 40 games. And I think that the Wemby mania sensation, he'll have the numbers, and I'm gonna buy it. Third team All NBA. I'm gonna buy this. I'm taking a gamble on this, a chance. I'll probably be wrong. You probably have the right idea on that. Buy or sell, Georgia. They play host to Missouri, marking the first of 3 straight ranked opponents for the reigning 2-time national champs. Will the Bulldogs suffer at least one loss? Well, today they play Missouri.
Okay.
They're favored by 15. Remember, Brock Bowers, there's all-American tight end, who I would draft in the top 10. He is a phenomenal tight end.
He's very good.
He's out.
They win today.
They host Ole Miss next week, and Lane Kiffin's got a tricky one with Texas A&M. That is no gimme, sir. That is a very, 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 very tricky game. But I think they will beat Ole Miss at home. Here's the one that I'm circling. At Tennessee in Knoxville, November 18th.
That'll be a zoo down
Is
there.
Tennessee's defense equipped to beat them? I'm going to sell this and say they will not suffer a loss with those in that stretch. But if we're going to say SEC championship and they have to play Alabama in the SEC championship, even though Alabama's offense has been a little bit of a roller coaster up and down with Milroe, I think Saban and company beat LSU tonight. He never loses to a quarterback 2 years in a row. So think about that, Daniels, tonight as you play Saban. He's going to be ready for you. And he did at Michigan State to Purdue and Drew Brees, I think it was, but not at Alabama. He doesn't lose to a quarterback 2 years in a row. I think the Bulldogs will suffer a loss then, but these 3 weeks now, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to say no. Did that make any sense?
Yeah, I'm going to sell it too, but that Tennessee will be wild. That'll be live, Rocky Top, all the music, all the fanfare. But I think Georgia's good enough to get by that, of course, without the receiver,
Bowers,
a tight end, who I think is their best receiver, will be tough. But I think they'll get through it. A lot of people say Georgia's not as solid, but they're still very good. They don't have to be perfect, but NFL franchise, they're very good, and I think they'll take care of business. They won't probably blow nobody out in these games, but I think they win.
All right, and we got 2 more buy or sells before we hang it up on this edition to our NFL picks, by the way. And right now, I think your Heisman favorite is Penix at Washington, and I think right there is Jaden Daniels from LSU. He's right there with them. He's got to have a big game tonight against Alabama. If he does that in Tuscaloosa and they win, I think he'll leapfrog Penix, regardless of the outcome with Southern Cal, because SC's defense has been very leaky. They got a tricky one with Washington to the Trojans. Caleb Williams is not a Heisman candidate anymore because they lost to Notre Dame, and Ed's Fighting Irish take on Clemson. And Dabo Sweeney, maybe we'll play his comments. So people heard that enough this week. Let's go to another high school question. We haven't done that yet for buy or sell. 5 unbeaten football teams from the 757, Green Run, Maury, Kingsford, War Hill, and Phoebus. Will we make it to Thanksgiving weekend with all 5 still unbeaten? Well, we just did our region championship picks, and I think we agree. I'm going to say buy. I think they will all make it to the – well, no, I'll tell you what. Kings Fork – did we skip 5B, by the way? I think we skipped 5B, didn't we, on our picks? We skipped 5B.
Because I don't remember mentioning Kings Fork.
We did. We skipped 5B.
Let's go back to can we get pull it up on the screen?
Did I have it in the I didn't have it in the spreadsheet. Is why we skipped 5B. That's why. Well, your matchups. Hold on. We can pull it back up on the ticker. We're all good. It's going to go across here in a second. We didn't do that region, so I'm gonna retract it. I'm gonna make my Kings Fork friends upset at me. I'm gonna pick Warwick to beat Kings Fork, even in Suffolk has the 3 seed. So I will say they get picked off by the Raiders, who beat them last year, And I will actually sell that all 5 will not make it to Thanksgiving weekend unbeaten. You got Kicketan at Maury. You got Granby, Nansman. I know you're going with the Warriors. You can't go against the River. And then you got your 3-6 is Menchville, Warwick. I like Warwick there. Your 2-7 is Bethel, Kings Fork. I like Kings Fork there.
So you got 3 Warwick against 2 Kings Fork
in the second round.
Kings Fork, right?
In the second round, yeah.
And Nansman River going to
Maury is what I would project, yeah. But the 5 unbeatens would be War Hill, Phoebus. And the reason I'm going to sell is I got 2 shots of an unbeaten going down, really, in my opinion. Because I don't think Maury, Phoebus are going to lose by first, second round. That's what happens.
No.
You're looking at War Hill possibly with Churchland. You're looking at Kings Fork with War.
Yeah,
that's why I will sell it ultimately.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal your thinking. I'm gonna steal it and say sell it because the possibility of losing is there. I don't think they will because I'm going to go Kings Fork over Warwick, but the possibilities are, so I have to sell it.
As a perfectly plump broadcaster once said, "Lie if you can, steal if you must, but always cheat." He just cheats. He
can't do cheat in high school.
What do we have for our last buy or sell question?
That's a good question itself.
You want to read that?
I knew we had to get a Diamondbacks.
It
Will the Diamondback? Okay, after falling short to the Texas Rangers in the World Series, Matt's Arizona Diamondbacks will miss the postseason in 2024. But
you're so mean.
Dodgers.
Padres might fire sell the whole team.
I think Padres are going to self-implode.
But Bob Melvin in San Francisco could move up.
Yes,
that would worry me. We could finish in 4th. I'm not gonna lie about that.
But will we ever hear back from St. Louis, a perennial playoff team?
They're not still in wild cards. The Central's the wild cards are coming from the East and the West.
But I would say this
with the Reds and Cubs this year. They kind of gagged it away, unfortunately.
The Diamondbacks, other than Baltimore, have the best fleet of young guys in the majors, I think, right now. And let's see what the farm system will throw in there.
But you're buying it.
I'm going to buy it, not because I don't like the D-back, because I don't dislike the D-backs.
Why would I sell? Why would I buy this if I'm worriing all this paraphernalia?
That's right. You have to.
I'm invested. I literally bought the hat and this. I bought it, so I got to buy.
You're the reason that their stock is way up.
Financially invested, no question about it. Ketel Marte will be the NL MVP next year. I'm going to buy that. Corbin Carroll's getting Rookie of the Year this year. Now we got to get a third starter. Our pitching, once you get past Gallen and Kelly, it's a little goes down.
Everybody
fat pitch. I was a rookie. All right, we're going to come. Hey, before we come back, we got a message in from Smithfield AD Pat.
Pat,
put the word out to. This is a quoted too. Put the word out to Keith. We need him for the playoffs. He called me in my office a while back, but we haven't heard from him in a while. If anybody out there knows Keith, and I know our buddy Derek Fulgham does, we want to get Keith on the screen with us because he would call in the radio. We can now get him on the screen with us.
Yeah, we got now.
Somebody's got to help him out with it.
Yeah,
so maybe Derek, if you're out there, one of his friends out there, his neighbors, get the phone out there, get the computer, and we'll put Keith on the screen because I can't tell you even now. I was at a game of the night. Someone said, "What does he look like?" And I said, "We put out a picture of him." So if they could see Keith with us, people will go bonkers. They'll go crazy.
Keith is an everyday man.
Matter of fact, we have so many sponsors. We can get the 5 minutes with, they do on PTI, 5 good minutes with Kornheiser and Wilbon. We could do 5 good minutes with Keith. And once he goes up for his 5 minutes, we boot him off the screen. That'd be great. 5 minutes is up, Keith. You got to go.
And remember one time.
5 good minutes with Keith. It can be sponsored by any one of our Chichos, CHKD, Dairy Queen, Freddy's, John's Tax Service, One Life, The Drip Bar, Triumph Realty, Zoop, Pepsi, or Gatorade with Keith.
Yeah.
I'm giving us a little segment to our sales team at Hometown Sports Productions. Keith. People love Keith. I went to Dumfries a few years back. Remember that for the Metro South Fall League at Potomac. And I had a coach from Fredericksburg up to me and says, "Is the guy real?" They didn't know if he was real or not.
He's real. He's real.
He's real.
And we miss him dearly. We got to get him out of here because he was our most loyal person we run.
5 minutes with Keith. I think it's a good segment. And you know what? It can be every other week. If Keith's busy, he's a loyal. He goes through every week. 5 minutes with Keith. And we might get Keith something out of the deal. It'd be great. We got to get that sold. We're going to take a comeback. We're going to take a timeout and come back with what? What are we coming back with to finish the show?
We got to do some picks.
We are. NFL picks here. But right now, we'll have timeout and hear from Zoop those NFL legends, and Chichos. It's more than just a pizza there.
Man, I wish I was out there.
Let's unretire.
Why not? Randy Moss.
Dan Marino? You alright? Hey, Grandpa! Grandpa? I still got it. 22. 22. Career game number 13. Let's see.
Hey. I need that senior discount.
That's the game. Mr. Marino, you mind if I take a selfie? Thank you.
I'm good right here, bro.
Unretirement? Who'd be dumb enough to do that?
The thing about you two is you never shut up. If you listen to you guys, there's always pearls of wisdom coming out of them ruby lips somewhere. And it's the way it's supposed to be.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we're back here for the final segment of 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on this Saturday from the Plex. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're streaming on VirginiaPreps.com, Facebook, Twitter, and X as well. We're going a little bit past 12 noon today because we got on a little bit after 10 a.m. due to the traffic snafu out here. Busy, very busy, hopping places. We got a band competition today at the Plex.
A lot of people around here.
You're not going to be playing any instruments,
Nope.
right?
I'm not. I can't play this. I'm not good. I'm not
Keep that away from you because that could be a
I can bang the drums, but I don't know if there's any music out.
You do a lot of banging around on tables and desks and chairs and all kinds of things. Speaking of which, a guy that did that, we have to quickly get a thought out. Rest in peace to the general, the great Bob Knight. I know he lived a very polarizing life, checkered. It was a lot of ups and downs with Bob Knight, but there's no questioning his coaching. And if you haven't got a chance to read it on ESPN.com, Jay Billis did a really wonderful piece on him. He is a guy that had his demons, and it's hard to get warm and fuzzy about him, but you see the impact he had on Isaiah Thomas and Quinn Bugner, and he's an icon and a legend. And certainly there's some things that you would question about how he went about it, but one thing about him, the guy was sharp as a whip and knew basketball, and he gave us a lot of classic sound bites. That's for sure. Whether you like the guy or not.
The golf stuff is amazing.
Oh, the golf your way. If you haven't found that on YouTube, go look for that.
The guy did way more great things than you'll ever hear about.
He did.
And he didn't want to really mention, and I think that's bad. I met him once, and I was a little afraid to ask him any question because I had a million. I think I asked him 4 or 5 questions. He answered all of them, gave me the time of day, and the guy was on the move. Met him at the 5-star basketball camp years ago. I don't think I could have played for him. I'm not sure I could have coached with him, but he's had a big influence on my coaching career. Yes, he did things I would never do, never say. So he taught me on both ends, but he taught me more positive than negative. And he was a tough guy to embrace, but we lost a true icon, a legend in the coaching business.
Yeah, you don't condone his behavior, but certainly you marvel at as just model of consistency and success he had. And he did it the right way. He was clean. He didn't cheat like a lot of coaches. Dan Dockage talked about that, and he had a falling out with Dockage at the end. But you know who I make the analogy of to him? Another guy that did a lot of good, but remember some of the bad, unfortunately, with some of his comments, mainly about Rutgers men's basketball, is Don Imus. I kind of compare Knight to Imus. They both were icons in their profession, but they had some things that certainly you would throw out and say, why did you do that? Come on, Bob. Come on, Don. But they did a lot of things, charitable stuff in both cases. So, we lost a legend. Rest in peace there. All right, time for the NFL picks. And here's the standings as we fire up the football music and talk about all that is going on in the National Football League. Out here. 14-10 for yours truly, Ed. In fact, 3-0 last week for yours truly. I won on the Chargers minus 8.5. They cruised with a 30-13 win on Sunday Night Football over the Bears. Cruise ball. We didn't cruise by that guy that was a Bears fan at the parking lot, but that's on story of time. Sorry. No, Dallas minus 6.5, 43-20 win easily over who they play. Who they played. Who they beat last week? Oh, the Rams, LA Rams. And under 47.5 or under 45.5, whatever it was, Denver and KC, 24-9, Broncos got the win. So 3-0 for me. He had Philly minus 7, which was a push. Some places had it minus 7.5. Some places had it minus 6.5. He took it at 7. They won by 7. They rallied past the Commanders and Sam Howell with a few touchdowns in the fourth quarter, 38-31 with Josh Sweat, the local product on that team. He was at Oscar Smith High. Detroit minus 7.5. Lions a winner, 26-14 on Monday Night Football against the Raiders. That got a little hairy late, but that's one where Ed won, but he was upset he won. He would rather have lost than been happy that the Raiders won. Then they fire McDaniels. They fire half the team and all kinds of changes. Antonio Pierce now coaching. How about that?
Yeah, he will not be the coach.
Over 35.5 for Jets and Giants. And I told him they could have played 8 quarters of football and they wouldn't score any points. 13-10 Jets. And talk about a bad beat if you have the Giants. Oh, how bad was that loss? Graham Gano. And I guess Scott Leffler of Bowling Green did a message because he tried to do the same thing and lose the Ball State the same way. Thank goodness he didn't.
Why would we worry about Ball State Bowling Green?
It's Wednesday night Maction. You gotta love the Maction, baby. 1-1-1 for him. 3-0 for me. Bruce Pearl was 2-1. Good job by Brucey. Cardinals plus 9.5. Got the backdoor cover as my Cards lost to the Ravens 31-24. Ravens looking pretty good, by the way. Colts plus 1.5. Not a good pick there, Brucey. Saints 138-20, but a good pick. You took the Lions like you did. Minus 7.5. So Bruce gets up to 10, 13-1, 2-1. Bruce is going to get back to Mount 500. I see it in his future. The great Virginia Beach Mustangs organizer does a fantastic job with that. All right, it is time for it. Let's give Bruce a little love. I get to go first, but I'm going to flash up Bruce's picks for this week. He's going Vegas. Get Raiders minus 1.5 favorite against the Giants. What do you mean? They got Danny DeVito's kid playing quarterback. Don't they? Or is Daniel Jones back? You don't even know.
Jones is back.
Tyrod's not playing quarterback anymore. The Hampton High product.
Hurt.
Always hurt. Seems like. Doctors will puncture his lung. We wish Tyrod the best in speed recovery. Cincinnati minus 1.5 for the Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals, mean and angry. Have you heard that song? Offensive brute.
It should be. If both teams show up, it should be a great game. Their regular where they play show up because both teams, I think, have been slightly disappointing this year, but maybe Cincinnati's put together.
And then he has Arizona. My Cardinals, they won from last week. He's going back to the well. Good move, Bruce. Plus 11.5 against the Browns. A lot of points for a Cleveland team that does not score very frequently, although you do wonder about with Tune in there at quarterback. That'll happen. Why did we trade Josh Dobbs, Ed? I mean, Kyler Murray should have got traded. We get a first-round pick out of him or something. Didn't like that. Didn't like that at all for the life of me. So I get to go first, correct? And that's how this works. I won. Yes. I was 3-0. And you got to wait. And I get to steal Ed's pick here, which would just be awesome if I could pull that off. It's so successful. So where am I going to the first selection? 2 different places I like. But it's a battle of backup quarterbacks in the dirty South, the dirty bird area in Atlanta with the Falcons and the Vikings. Who's the quarterback for the Vikings, Ed? What's the guy's name?
Hall. Jaron Hall.
If he walked into the Sportsplex right now, we wouldn't know who he was if he had a name tag.
He can shop Walmart's in.
Wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know.
But we know who Taylor Heineke is, right? Old Dominion legend, former Commanders
Should
QB.
have been a starter all year.
That's what everybody says. Desmond Ridder, we don't care if he's hurt or performing. It's a joke. Heineke's as good as anybody. He's the modern day Brett Favre. He's got guile. He's got moxie. He's got gumption. Do you have gumption?
Yeah, but I don't chew it often because I can't do much with it. So.
Falcons minus 3.5. If the hook gets me, I'm going to be mad at you, Heineke, and I'll never pick you again or root for you. But I'm rooting for you with every fiber in my body against the Vikes in the battle of 4-4. It's pick number 1. Give me the Dirty Birds. Remember when Jamal Anderson did the Dirty Bird dance? Can we get up and do that? Can we dance, Michelle?
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I want to keep the audience we have, the
do
2 or 3 viewers we have.
Do it when we're off air and I'm home.
Okay.
So I don't even see it. Do it in the safety of your room.
You get to pick two games now.
All right.
You can't take the Falcons because I did.
Yeah, that wasn't what I'm looking at. I'm going Chargers.
The Superchargers.
Minus 3.5 over the Jets.
Look at this, folks. See that right there? I've got these listed picks. He looked on my sheet.
No, I didn't.
You're cheating over there.
I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it. It's a tough.
It went up from minus 1.5 to 3.5. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, you won't give me the minus.
Yeah, just give it minus. I said minus. You're going Chargers, right?
I'm going to go Chargers.
Yeah, it was 1.5. You don't get it at 1.5. You get it at 3.5.
I got to take it at 3.5. Okay, I'll take it.
Against Zach Wilson, another backup quarterback. By the way, there's like 12 backup quarterbacks playing this week.
Yeah, some of the guys like this guy. And Danny DeVito's not playing this week.
Tommy DeVito.
I'm Tommy DeVito.
Well, and by the way, you're trusting Brandon Staley and Justin Herbert. You know, as I've said, it's like playing Russian roulette. He could lose us by half a point, and he could go for a 4th and 2 from his pit. And that defense, the Jets defense made quarterbacks silly. So you're taking a dangerous pick there. But go ahead, Jets. I mean, the Chargers over the Jets on Monday Night Football. They'll be watching that.
And I'm taking Ravens minus 5.5 over.
Both the Ravens, nevermore. Edgar Allan Poe. He could get a bad beat here. Geno Smith is TD late to get it back to a cover. A game I strongly considered here. All right, so that's off the board. That's off the board. Bruce took the Bengals. Thinking hard about them, but I'm not going to go there. You know what I'm going to go to? My over/under well. It runneth over. It's never over, right? 40.5 is the total for the Commanders and the Patriots. Remember I said last week if they played 6 quarters, 8 quarters, Jets and Giants wouldn't get 36 points.
You're going to do the same thing with this game.
I mean, Howell's had some outbursts, but I think Belichick's going to be as conservative and as dry as 80-year-old. Well, I can say it on the air. I was going to say something not nice, but this is going to be bad. 17-14 written all over it. Give me the under 40.5 for the Commanders, the Commies, and the Pats. Before Belichick gets traded to the Commanders next year, they want to get him as the coach over at Bieniemy. I mean, Bieniemy should have been this guy for Ron Rivera. This is probably Ron Rivera's last game as coach. I'm buying that proclamation right now.
I think he makes it to the end of the season. I don't think he'll be the coach next year.
And for my last pick, I'm really tempted to take America's dream, but not America's team. But I'm going to go to a spot that has worked out well for me throughout the years, or the year, I should say. And that is taking the Houston Texans against the Buccaneers. When I pick against the Bucs, it really works in my favor. They're laying 3, coming off a bad loss to Carolina. The rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud will play better at home here. D'Amico Ryans and company will regroup with the team. I'm going to take the Texans laying 3 against the Bucs, who I have no faith in, no trust in. Give me the Texans to get it done at home. So to recap for me, Texans minus 3, Falcons minus 3.5, under 40.5, Pats and Commanders. First, he's got Vegas minus 1.5 as the Raiders take on a G-Men. Bengals minus 1.5 on Sunday Night Football on NBC as the Bengals they host the Bills. And the Cards plus 11.5 in Cleveland versus the Brownies with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the Bethel High along. Ed's last pick to go with Chargers minus 3.5 versus the Jets and the Ravens minus 5.5 against Seattle.
I'm going out on the branch. And I'm going with Panthers plus 2.5 at home against the Colts. Bryce Young, cousin from a different family, played well last week, maybe his best game. Let's say that they are at home. They don't have many other chances. Give me the Panthers.
You're going to go with the Panthers with Bryce Young to get it done, plus the 2.5. That's going to conclude this episode. If you missed it, it'll be archived for your viewing pleasure on our YouTube page, 757 Sports Talk on Twitter and X, as well as on Facebook with the Virginia Beach Sports PLEX Facebook page and virginiapreps.com. And we'll do it again next week here from the PLEX in Virginia Beach. Have a good weekend, Ed. We'll see you. I'm off to Muncie, Indiana to do some ODU basketball broadcasting, so I will not be here. So we'll do it by remote. We'll do it by remote. And I'll be going to Arkansas if I go to David Letterman University, which is Ball State. And we'll talk to you next Saturday, the 11th of November, 11/11/2023. And it'll be first round playoff action in the books for high
And
school
I
football.
will have my first week of basketball practice in as we get ready for the season. It's coming fairly quick. So remember, bring some different things.
Stories coming. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll talk to you next week. Have a good weekend, everyone.